us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh Lord, so many can testify. Love, oh Lord, but you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child. Let us
Experience the value. Get the cable's value bundle today. Internet, Ultra TV, free HBO Max, and a free cable platinum loyalty MasterCard for only $157 monthly. Feel the thrill of 74 channels of Ultra TV. Feel the rush of the cable's 35 megabyte Bolt Internet. Maximum streaming entertainment is free with HBO Max and the ultra convenience of the platinum loyalty MasterCard. Shop, save, share, and don't forget, get a free internet upgrade when you pay your cable bills with Platinum Loyalty MasterCard. Not a cable customer? Sign up today and get more out of your internet, TV, shopping, and payment experience. The cable's value bundle, Ultra TV, internet, free HBO Max, and Platinum Loyalty MasterCard at $250 value for only $157 per month. Call the cable 465-2588 and come experience the value.
Don't freak out! We are about to blow your mind! With up to 64% off MasterTech television sets, savings of over $1,300. Ridiculously low prices! Television deals you can't afford to miss on 32, 50, 55-inch television sets and more! This television sale is one for the history books. Hurry! You can shop today with no cash at your nearest Quartz store or online at shopquartz.com. Don't miss this mind-blowing TV deals only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Pleasant good morning to everyone out there in the radio audience, viewing audience, internet, wider diaspora. Welcome to another featured program of Policing with You. I have in the studio with me the heavy hitter, Superintendent Henry, Divisional A Commander. Welcome, Superintendent.
Thank you for having me, Superintendent Francis.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for taking time out to come on the program as usual when you when we ask, you always happily come and participate.
Yes.
Today's program, in the wake of the upcoming general election, there's a lot of things that are happening on the ground that concern policing. So in today's program, we will basically focus on two aspects: the actions of police officers leading up to and on general election day, and the prevalent crimes leading up to the general election. We're in election mode, and we are seeing one or two spike of specific crimes that are taking place. We want to touch it today, and as usual, halftime we will have the listeners call in to give their concerns and to give their word of encouragement and whatever needs to be said, and ask whatever questions, and good superintendent and myself will try our best to address it. Now we're going to just jump straight into the question, and the first question is, superintendent, is at what time should the police station open?
Yes, thank you again, Superintendent, for having me, and I must say a pleasant good morning to your listeners, those listening via whatever medium. That is an important question. What time the polling station should be open? The National Assembly Election Act provides for polling stations to be open at 7 a.m. and should be closed at 6 p.m. So there's almost a 12-hour period for persons to cast their vote, and that is significant because we see persons tend to come out more to the closing time, and those are the times when the lines become longer. Persons become more agitated because it's coming up to 6 o'clock and they may not get to vote, and so persons become more uneasy around that time. So we really would encourage persons to come out as early as 7 o'clock to be able to cast your vote and get it over with quickly.
So is it possible for persons to come in the line very early at 6 and line up waiting for the polling station to open?
Yes, you could come before 7 and begin to form the queue, and as soon as the polling station is open, you'll be the first to enter. So yes, we encourage persons to come out as early as possible, because at 6 p.m. You would not be allowed to join the line. The last person who is on the line at 6 p.m., that will be the last person permitted to enter the polling station to cast their vote. So 6 p.m. is the cutoff time. If you come at 2 minutes after 6, even the line has in 10, 20, 50 people, you will not be allowed to join the line at 2 minutes after 6. But those persons who are in the line prior to 6 p.m., they will be allowed to cast their vote, but no one else will be allowed to join the line after 6 p.m. So we really would want to encourage persons to come out as early as possible, so that you get it over with and not be caught up at the end and miss the opportunity.
Okay, for the benefit of the listeners and viewers, when you, superintendent, indicate that no one will be allowed in after 6, let's say for instance there's a line of about 20-something persons, how would the police or law enforcement officers be able to know who came and joined the line after 6?
Well, the police officer who is on duty at the polling station, he would mark the person. So he would say, well, Mr. Francis is the last person in the line, and so he would know that no one else other than Mr. Francis would be allowed to enter the polling station.
Wow.
Mr. Francis would be the last person permitted to enter the polling station. So the officer would note the person who is the last in the line at 6 p.m. and that would be his marker. No one after Mr. Francis would be allowed to enter.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. So the viewers and listeners, come out early and cast a vote whenever that date comes to us. as the general public, come out early and cast your vote. A follow-up question that is not here, with reference to employers of various institutions, and the employees want to come out and vote. Can an employer say, you're not voting today, we have a lot of work to do, you vote another time next general election?
Of course not. That is a right that is really enshrined in our constitution, that every man has the right to vote, and the National Assembly Elections Act provides for employers to give their staff sufficient time to go and cast their vote. So an employer cannot legally prevent his staff from going to vote. If the staff walks off the job to go and vote and comes back, there's no recourse that the employer can take against that staff. He's entitled to give the staff the time off, reasonable time to go and vote.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, to follow up, with reference to polling stations, who is allowed inside polling station? We have a long line outside, we have a few persons inside. When we go into vote, we see 2 or 3 persons sitting down in there permanently. We have 1 or 2 persons going in and coming out, besides the voters and besides the police officers. Can you indicate to the general public who is allowed in polling stations?
That is also an important question, because election is a serious time, and
very, very serious.
The polling station is a sacred place. I mean,
almost like church.
Almost like church. It's holy grounds, and so it has to be very much controlled. And so the law prescribes who are permitted to enter into a polling station. Of course, the voters are persons who are entitled to vote in the general election. They are permitted to enter the polling station. How many at a time? That will be determined by the size of the room, the configuration of the room, and what the presiding officer would allow. So whether it's only 1 person at a time or 2 persons at a time, that will be determined. But the voters who are registered at that polling station, they will be allowed to enter the room.
Okay.
The presiding officer, he's the person who is overall responsible for the polling station. So the presiding officer is allowed to be inside the polling station. The returning officer, of course, is allowed to be there. The polling clerk, those persons who are employed to do all the paperwork, and so those polling clerks, they are allowed to be there. Each party is allowed 1 agent.
1 agent.
1 agent to represent the candidate, and those agents are allowed also in the polling station. The candidate themselves for the constituency, the particular constituency where the polling station is, the candidates are also permitted to be in the polling station. Of course, there is some guidelines on that as to how long they could stay and whether or not they could stay with the agent. I think it's 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, either the candidate or the agent would have to leave.
So both of them can stay in there, stand up, observing what's going on.
Right. The candidate and his agent, the candidate and his agent cannot remain in the polling station together beyond 5 minutes.
Yes.
So after 5 minutes, one would have to leave, either the candidate or the agent. And of course, the police officer who is working at that particular polling station would be allowed to also be at the polling station. Of course, there are some other persons who may have observer status who will be allowed to enter any member of any observer group. We normally have observers coming into the country. They would be identified by their dress. They have on a vest usually marked observer. Of course, they will be allowed to enter the polling station. The members of the electoral commission, they'll be allowed to enter. The supervisor of election coming around, he'll be allowed to enter. But these persons who are directly involved in the administration of the election, they would be allowed. Any other person really should not be there.
Okay.
The presiding officer would determine who is permitted to be there.
Presiding officer.
Yes.
Okay. Follow-up question from that. Let's say, for instance, a mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter, or auntie and a nephew or niece, and the auntie, or whoever the family relative, or whatever the case may be, might indicate, I want to make sure you vote for such and such. Can videos, pictures, WhatsApp messages, things of that nature be authorized or done inside the polling station?
Well, no. Your vote is secret, and cell phones and cameras and those other recording devices not allowed inside the polling station, or at least inside the voting booth.
Yes.
You would have to leave those things at the desk where the clerk is, and then you go into the booth, cast your vote, and come back out. So you cannot walk in the booth with your phone and take a picture of the ballot paper to show as evidence as who you voted for, and have it on your phone. You cannot, not allowed to do that. Cell phones and these recording devices are prohibited from the polling booth. The voting booth, and so you will be asked to leave those outside.
And if somebody does it, is that an offense?
It is an offense. I think
criminal offense.
It's a criminal offense.
Okay.
I think maybe two elections ago, one person tried it in Nevis, and she was arrested and charged, and I'm told that she was fined $10,000.
Wow, $10,000.
$10,000. So it is a very serious offence, and persons are advised not to attempt to take cell phones or cameras inside the voting booth to photograph anything.
Okay, thank you very much. The procedure, what is the procedure to allow candidates in the polling station? I think you touched on that before.
Well, yeah, I said the candidates are allowed in the polling station, but they could only remain for 5 minutes if their agent remain in the polling station with them. After 5 minutes, the agent or the candidate will be required to leave. The presiding officer, of course, if they're on the ball, they would politely ask one of them to step outside until the other leaves, and then the police will be asked to assist if that is not voluntarily done.
All right, thank you very much. The presiding officer seems as though he has a very, very big role on that day.
Yes, he's responsible for the management and the conduct of the affairs of the polling station.
Okay, polling station still, because the election is coming up. If there's any disruption, because we know some of us, most of us are law-abiding citizens, but it's going to be a tense moment, and there's likely to be maybe 1 or 2 disruptions in the police station. And to quell those disruptions, should the police, police going to be around, is the police required to act when they see those disruptions? Are they required to act one time, or there's a procedure?
But that is the main function of the police, to maintain order. And so if there is someone who is disruptive to the proceedings, to the process, then the police is expected to take action. Of course, outside obvious disruption, the presiding officer should be the one who asks the police to intervene. So, for example, if the presiding officer asks someone to leave the polling station for whatever reason, and that person refuses to leave, then the presiding officer would ask the police to help to escort person X from the polling station. The police would not, on his own, go and ask the person to leave the station if the person is not being disruptive in any way. The presiding officer would have to do that. But if the person is obviously or visibly disruptive,
a lot of noise and stuff like that.
Noise and calling people names and being disorderly, then the police do not have to wait for the presiding officer to ask him to take action. His function there, his role there, is to maintain order, and you cannot have order if a person is being disruptive. So that person would be removed from the polling station or the vicinity of the polling station if that becomes necessary.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Superintendent, to move forward, we know this is going to be a tense environment, and a lot of supporters are very strong in their position. Now, we will have long lines with our persons inside, persons outside, persons driving around, observers and stuff like that. Can someone wear their political colors and they have to vote this and vote that and vote this party in the line? Can they be in the line displaying those things?
That is a no-no. I think they'll be asked to leave the line and go and dress appropriately. Again, the act prohibits the wearing of colors that associate you with a particular party or candidate. Any sign, any poster, anything that represents a particular party or candidate should not be worn, should not be carried, should not be displayed within the constituency, but for sure not in the immediate vicinity of the polling station. So you cannot be in the line with a poster in your hand saying "Vote Francis" or "Do not vote Francis." Or you cannot have on a shirt that represents the color of the particular party that you support. Right? So everything should be neutral. Your colors should be neutral, and everybody's supposed to be in the line, being friendly to each other. And
but I was gonna
wait until your chance to go in and do your thing.
I was gonna ask that question because this is very, 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 very sensitive. Because so you are saying from a law enforcement standpoint, reference to election, someone cannot be in a line in a red shirt, a yellow shirt, or orange shirt.
Right, should not
be in
the line wearing colors that represent a party.
Okay, so the viewers and listeners, please listen when you're coming out to vote. Wear neutral colors.
Wear neutral colors.
Neutral colors such as what? White,
white,
red is green.
Well,
some other color.
Green is a color in Davis.
Well, we say, yes.
So,
wow.
But yeah, within the constituency, we should not have the colors at the party.
So it's got to start to look for some neutral colors.
Neutral colors, anything other than the colors that we know that are associated with the contending parties in the election.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll ask another question. There are currently a lot of public meetings and procession marches taking place, which is leading up to the general election. What is the role of the police at public meetings and processions? And if something goes wrong, how should the police respond?
Well, as I said before, the role of the police is to maintain order. And so if a meeting is approved, if a march or other procession is approved by the relevant authority, then the police is to ensure that that group who is coordinating or organizing the march, the persons who are involved in the march, the police is to ensure that those persons are allowed to do so in an environment that is safe for them to do so. And so that you cannot have somebody who doesn't agree with them coming and trying to disrupt the march. The police is to prevent that. So you have a group of protesters protesting peacefully, you cannot have another group coming to disrupt.
And so you shouldn't be protesting.
To prevent them from protesting. So the police job is to keep away that other group and allow this group who has permission to peacefully do whatever they applied to do or whatever they were authorized to do. So the role of the police is basically to protect the rights of everybody. Yeah, you have a right to protest, and so once you do it within what the law prescribes, then the police role is to ensure that you are allowed to do it in an environment that is safe. Control traffic so you don't have vehicles driving through your march. The police will divert traffic, block whatever roads need to be blocked, just to ensure that your procession or your meeting could proceed in a safe and disruption free environment.
Yes, and with reference to meetings and marches, if something goes wrong, I'm not talking about any fight or anything like that. Something goes wrong and the march need to be dispersed. Who can be called upon to effectively enforce such?
Usually at all of these events, you would always find that there is a rank with an officer with a rank above corporal and above present. So in addition to constables, you always find a supervisor present at all political meetings, marches, and that is because the law requires that should any action be taken, that action must be taken in terms of stopping the event for whatever reason. That action should be taken by a rank no less than a corporal. So a corporal, a sergeant, an inspector, anybody from corporal up would be expected to intervene to stop the possession for whatever reason.
And when they're going to stop the possession, do they just ask the mic and stop the possession?
Well, they will speak to the leaders, the person who appear to be the leader of the march or the chairman of the meeting, as the case may be. The officer would speak to that person and tell them, look, because of X, Y, Z, we will ask you to discontinue this, give reasons and that sort of thing, and ask the leader to really discontinue whatever is taking place at the time.
The last question before we take a break: if that person, chairman, leader, decide to disobey, is that an offense?
Yes, if he continues after he's warned to stop, then he commits an offense. And the persons who take part in the march or the meeting, they too will be committing an offense. Wow. Once the police brings the proceedings to an end, anyone who remain after acts to disperse, they will be committing an offense and liable to prosecution.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a few more questions when we come back. GQ, can we take a break for a word from our sponsors? When we come back, we will entertain some calls and questions from the general public, and I still have a few more questions for the good superintendent.
All right.
The Rotary Club of St. Kitts is pleased to announce the return of its free annual prostate screening clinic. Once again, we're collaborating with Dr. Dwayne Thwaites, Island Medical Specialists, and the Lodge Mount Olive. All men 40 and over are encouraged to come out on Saturday, the 16th of July at the Large Mount Olive in Taylor's Range, Bastille. Screenings are being held from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Women, encourage and or bring your husband, partner, father, uncle, brother, male relatives and friends to the free prostate screening clinic at Large Mount Olive, Taylor's Range, Saturday, the 16th of July, 2022. Valid government-issued photo ID is required and COVID-19 protocols will be observed.
For Plastic Free July, be a part of the solution and help end plastic pollution. The Sustainable Destination Council and member organizations here in St. Kitts are having a number of awareness campaigns. July 11th to the 16th, be the Change Week, and July 29th, a march through Bastille, just to name a few. For more details, contact 467-1390 and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at St. Kitts SDC.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome back to program of Policing with You. We are speaking about elections and prevalent crimes leading up to elections and the actions of the police on or leading up to elections. The phone lines are not open. We have a call. Beautiful. Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling. I need to be I stand to be corrected. I read something some time ago concerning colors. Mr. Henry said you cannot wear no political colors. My understanding with political colors, you're not to wear a shirt with no kind of political slogan. So I would like Mr. Henry to read out that section where if you wear a red shirt, what will be the offense? If you wear a plain yellow shirt, what will be the offense? Or a plain orange shirt. That's my understanding, but like I said before, we like to be corrected on that. Please, could you read out the section where it says about a shirt with no political affiliation, no color of no political affiliation? That sound kind of right to me, so could you read out that to me, please?
Okay, thank you very much, Carlo.
Okay, all right.
We're going to take a next call where we look
Take
at
a
that?
next call. I have to look
Okay.
for the.
We'll take a next call where we look up this section. Okay, President, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Could you speak up?
Good morning to the officers.
Thank you.
My little question is about the color too, because not the last election, the one when Douglas gets out. Douglas supporters at the polling booth, them had on red shirts. I even was asking myself, why these wearing red? And they're supposed to know, because I know that last since I'm a little child. It's in Bratchley. So I do not understand. They were breaking the law. So I think if the police does do anything about it, if you have on a red shirt or yellow shirt. Thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you for that call.
Okay, you have more callers?
If you have the answer, we'll
Okay, Section 104(1) of the National Assembly Elections Act. No person shall furnish or supply any loudspeaker, bunting, ensign, banner, standard or set of colors, or any flag to any person with intent that it shall be carried, worn, or used on motor vehicles, motor cars, trucks, or other vehicles as political propaganda on polling day, and no person shall with such intent carry, wear, or use on motor cars, trucks, or other vehicles any such loudspeaker, bunting, ensign, banner, standard, or set of colors, or any other flag on polling day. I don't know if that could be interpreted as you cannot wear a red shirt, but that is my interpretation. The set of colors, if you're wearing clothes that resembles the colors of the political party, that is where the wearing comes in. We say wear or use on motor vehicles, trucks or other cars, any bunting, ensign, banner, standard or set of colors, or any flag on polling day, it is prohibited.
Okay, that's section 1041.
1041.
Of the National Assembly Act.
National Assembly Elections Act.
Yes, and the laws are online as well. On the Google the laws of the Federation and read it for yourself. National Assembly Act, section 1041. We have another call? Yes, pleasant good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Can we help?
Yeah, good morning, Superintendent Henry and Superintendent Francis. How are we all doing?
Yes, sir, morning.
Yeah, this is a timely program because we know there's an election just around the corner. But I wanted some clarity on the issue with the colors also. Because if I'm not mistaken, so if I wear a yellow shirt, because suppose that red, orange, and then you have a mix of, you have the mixture of an next party, PLP. So you're saying none of those shirts should be worn, although if it is a plain shirt?
Right, you should, the access set of colors.
But I'm confused because maybe I'm subject to things. Because my understanding if this shirt have a symbol or something like that, but I didn't understand is this shirt the color of the party, so no red, no yellow. I am not.
Read the Act, section 104, and see what.
So then, what I'm going to ask you now. So the police know. So if you have a line with persons with a lot of red shirt, a lot of just plain shirts, they are going to be asked to go home and change the shirt and come back.
Well, they'll be asked to leave the line.
How we deal with it will be determined. But
I believe some
really,
clarity needs, because if I'm not mistaken, as I said,
having this program.
I can be wrong, but I understand it's the symbol. You're not supposed to wear the symbol of the party, or maybe a shirt with the candidate who is running. But I can be wrong, but maybe you need to maybe get a better understanding and maybe come back, because everybody, the same thing I was here thinking. I'm not certain that you can't wear a shirt, but
it says ensign, banner, standard, or set of colors. So I think the ensign would be the symbol, and then it went further to say colors.
Well, maybe some clarity needs to be had in relation to that. And maybe on a different program, you can come back and let us, the general public, because I too is confused in relation to that part. But as I said, it's a timely program in terms of we know there's an imminent election just around the corner, and you're in a great position to give guidelines. And one thing, what happened in the last election, and I pray and hope that we get some strong presiding officer, because the presiding officer have a lot of power. And the mistake that what happened in the last election, where a particular polling station stayed very long to open, that can frustrate people. So I just pray and hope they can remedy those problems, and we have a smooth general election whenever the date is announced by the Prime Minister. Gentlemen, have a good day as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I guess what we can do for some even further clarity, I do understand the interpretation of the Act and what Superintendent is saying. We will consult further again our legal partners in the DPP's office, and on the next program we'll come with a definitive, for a fact,
interpretation of
that particular
set of colors.
Because I do understand the general public is concerned, and persons don't want to come in line with a particular color shirt and stand up for hours and told you gotta go.
But I think to be on the safe side, just avoid the colors, because the whole idea is that you do not influence persons in the line at the time. That is the whole idea of prohibiting the political activities. And so colors are associated with the political activities. Whenever a person is campaigning, he usually wears particular colors to show who he's campaigning for. And so we don't want you in the polling in the line showing the same set of colors to show who you voted for, because your vote's supposed to be secret. And so I think the whole idea is to stay away from anything that would associate you with a particular party on polling day, especially at the polling station.
I do agree. And the last caller touched a point, and I do agree with him, because in the last general election I was an inspector, and I could recall a particular polling station open late.
Right, yeah.
Late.
Long after 8.
You understand? Open late. And to me, this is a disservice to the general public.
Yeah.
I think, and I know, if there's a particular hour should be open, everybody should be there leading up to the hour. Make sure you have chairs in place, everything in place, so we can open on the dot and give the persons in the area the timing that they need to vote.
Right.
Because we're gonna close 6 on the dot anyway. So if we could close on the dot, we might have to open on the dot.
Right. But I think in that particular case, that particular station remained open
a little extra
beyond the time to compensate for the late start.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much. We have another call. Beautiful. Good morning. You're on the air. Police with you.
Yeah, good morning. Me again, just quickly. All the years I know you have in elections. All the years I have seen all sorts of colors. So I don't know how a court of law going to deal with that. You all mentioned about the DPP interpreting. You don't need no DPP to interpret. It should be in the law. Make it clear so nobody from the DPP office will say whether you could wear a red shirt, a yellow shirt, or orange shirt. So please, I don't like when you are telling the public the DPP should interpret and whatever. It should be in the law, and all the years I know, people wear all kind of colors. What I understand the colors to me, if you have a shirt mark Labour, or if you have a shirt mark PAM, or if you have a shirt mark whatever the political party is, I think that's is an offense. But you can't see you committing offense wearing a color shirt. You all will have a rough time in the court with that. I've never come across it. All the years I know, it was never been that way. So I don't know how someone to mention about the DPP will interpret and things. And you don't need no DPP to interpret none. If you like there, please come on another program and say to the public exactly what the program says. But don't say the DPP going to interpret nothing. That's an insult to the general public. Thank you.
Well, guess what? Maybe that caller do not quite understand how it works. How it works is that the DPP's office, which have crown counsels, which are lawyers who interpret laws all the time
and advise the police
on the interpretation of a particular law that is not particularly clear. We heard the superintendent read out the exact words of the law, and then several callers calling after, and it seemed to be up in the air. So we need to communicate with the legal minds to interpret and give us a definitive position on that particular section of law. So it is not wrong. We do this all the time. We do this in criminal matters. We do this in all matters.
But I don't think we need to spend too much time on this.
No,
It is not a big a big issue. If you say that it's been happening over the years and nothing happened, then
exactly.
let's move on. I'm just saying what the law says, and that if persons are armed with the knowledge, then they would just be guided accordingly, because you want to avoid running afoul of what the law provides, and so we're just giving you what the law says, and you make up your mind as to what you're going to do.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Another caller, GQ? Yes. Pleasant good morning. You're on the air. Police with you.
Good morning, Superintendent Francis and
morning,
Superintendent Henry. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Now, my little put this morning. I'm here listening.
Q.
And I see on social media people sending all kind of things to me, that wall painting up in different areas. Our historical walls, them painting up red, some orange. When you look, somebody come and paint in the white again. And this thing going on. The police can't do anything about this. And as far as I'm concerned, that I in election from since in 1993, 1980, I get involved in election. And back in 1979, I always hear that you ain't supposed to wear no party colors when you're going to the poll. And what I see people doing it now, we're in all kind of different colors. I don't want to do will change. But after a while I hear again that you could go on a color, a orange shirt, a red shirt, a yellow shirt, but you're supposed to go down and vote this or vote whoever you're voting for. That is what I always hear. But I believe that the ballot is a secret ballot, and suppose the majority of people, everybody want to go in orange, everybody want to go in yellow, everybody want to go in red. It wouldn't look good. So I believe that what they should do, you keep with the party colors when you're going to the poll. You understand? You keep with the party colors. Even some of the paraphernalia that they put up, I think some of them supposed to take them if they got on vote Labour or vote the candidate or whatever. I think some of them supposed to take down as long as they run the voting area. All those are back in the 70s and the early 80s coming up and in the 90s. So I just want to know that this painting a wall, when you all see them doing it, if you all can't do nothing about it. Because people is blaming the politician them, say the politician them is making them do it and all these things. And maybe some of the politician them ain't involved in nothing, but people just want what they like, eh? Alright then.
Alright, thank you for that question, Carlos. Superintendent, can we adjust that?
You know, I guess we're going to touch on malicious damage later, because that is one of the things that we see happening around this time. The question is, for there to be a crime, there must be a victim. So you must get a complaint. And so if persons are going around painting a wall orange, we don't get any complaint from anybody that this person paint my wall and I do not appreciate it. You're the criminal law expert here, Francis. Tell us what can the police do if somebody come and paint a wall and nobody complain that he's not happy that my wall is painted? What can the police do in those circumstances?
Okay, actually, my court.
You're the criminal law expert here.
What I would say, in this regard, in this particular circumstances, is that I've seen several videos where the walls are painted that belong to no one in particular.
Right, the owner doesn't complain. The owner of the wall doesn't complain that my wall is painted.
If the owner doesn't complain, there's no case.
Right,
there's no case.
Yeah, so if you paint the wall and the owner is happy with it,
I'm glad you painted my wall.
What can the police do? We can't just go and lock up somebody because they paint the wall when nobody is there saying, well, I'm not supporting my wall being painted that color. My wall is supposed to be green and you come and paint it white. I'm not happy with that. I want the police to take an action. And unless you have that complaint from the owner, because you need to first show that the wall has an owner. Who is the owner? What is the value of the damage that was done to the wall? And these things would have to be satisfied in order for a legal case to go forward.
Yes. Every case have to have a virtual complainant and a defendant or accused.
Exactly.
So somebody have to give evidence that wall belongs to me.
Right.
I put it there. It cost me this, that. I left it in this particular way.
It cost me $10 to paint it white.
Exactly.
And you come and paint it green, so now we'll have to pay another $20 to paint it back white. And so you cost me $20. And if we don't have that, then we can't go and take any real action against anyone. So all that we could ask for is for persons to really exercise calm and patience and, avoid the violence. If you paint the wall green and somebody come and paint it white, do not go and hit him because it's not your wall.
Because I'm seeing walls being painted that belong to the state.
Right, exactly. Most of the walls
it's not necessarily your wall or my wall.
It's not a private individual wall.
You understand? It just belongs to the state.
If you come and paint my wall home at my house now, then that's a different case.
Exactly.
I'm going to complain. And now you have a case because you can't come and paint my wall what color you want. I'm going to go to the police. I'm going to complain. I don't want my wall orange, and this man come and paint my wall orange. It's going to cost me X amount of money now to change the color back to what I want. So have a complainant.
Yes.
Have a crime to investigate. But right now what we're having, we don't have that.
Gentlemen, before we take any more calls, I just have a couple of responses. One is a question and one is a statement of support. So I'll read the statement of support first. This individual is saying, good morning, officers. We support you. You've read the law. There's no argument with the individuals. If they don't want to abide by the law, you just enforce the law in terms of the colors. And they thank you for reading that. The second person is saying, when our rallies, is the question, by the way, when our rally meetings supposed to end? Or can a rally or a meeting end whenever they want to end?
Right.
Good question.
There's an application process and there's a distinction between the meeting and the rally. And so a lot of times the parties would have two. They have the meetings first and the rally. After the rally is more the entertainment segment. And so but most of the meetings should end at midnight. We normally grant permission for the meetings to end at midnight, and we will allow an extra hour or two for entertainment after the meeting is finished. So meeting, rally, we consider the entertainment part of the whole proceedings, and that will be allowed to go beyond midnight. But the meeting itself, the public meeting itself, should end at midnight.
Okay, thank you. Do we have another call?
We have 3 more calls here.
Yes, we're going to take them all. Pleasant good morning. Police with you, you're on the air.
Hello? This is the hospital?
Could you repeat?
No, this is not the hospital.
No, so we'll take another call. Thank you for calling, though, but this is not the hospital.
Okay, police with you. You are here.
Good morning.
Can I help you?
Good morning.
Yes, morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Officer.
Yes, sir.
Officer.
Yes.
Just my belief.
Yes.
I do not believe that is color.
You don't believe his color?
Continue.
We seem to have lost that caller.
Lost that caller. Okay, we have another one.
Well, he said that is just his belief, so can't fault him for his belief.
But the lie is more than belief.
Right. The lie is clear. The last set of colors.
Good morning. You're live.
Hello, good morning. Imagine a police can't get in on the police program.
The chief police.
Anyway, great job as usual.
Thanks.
The law is the law. And the short, even though the short may not have on a symbol, the color indicates something.
Right.
So, whether it's law or no law, that indicates something. Now, my question is this. Conduct of the code of conduct on a political platform. Suppose I am a candidate and I go up on the platform and I'm going to use threatening language. Like, I go in this area tomorrow and me no want a coward with me. If I a coward no come, because I'm going to stand the point tomorrow to capture new territory. All man dead, who ain't dead, badly wounded. And then turn around with some kind of behavior upon the platform. I wouldn't even talk about them. Which is bad because people looking at these things on Facebook and all kind of book. What can an officer do with a person on the platform with them kind of conduct? Threatening language about all man dead or wounded. Who not dead, wounded. Because that's not supposed to be in politics. Politics supposed to be talking about the issues. What they plan to do for the country. Not go up there and defame people by going in people posting out bedroom and all this kind of thing. That's my question. So thanks for listening, gentlemen. All the best.
All right, sir. Thank you for that question.
Well, what I would say, the churches have put out a code of conduct that all the parties have agreed to and have signed, and that code of conduct set out the expectations, the what conduct is acceptable, what behavior is acceptable from the candidates on the political platforms, and so we really would hope that the candidates are guided by this code of conduct, and it's really a document that really sort of set the tone as to the behavior of what is expected, what is acceptable from candidates. And so we really appreciate, we really hope that we will get that type of high standard of delivery of the various presentations from the candidates, and I'm certain that we will see that going forward with this year. But in terms of what you said, threatening language is always never acceptable. But whether or not what you describe is threatening language, it's a different story. But going forward, all the parties have signed on to this code of conduct, and we look forward to a peaceful election campaign.
Yes.
All right, we'll take these last two calls we have here and wrap up the program for today.
Yes.
All right, we lost that one, so we'll try these two. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, officers. And
yes, morning, sir.
In respect to what you were saying about walls and painting of the walls, no complaint, there should be a complaint. There was a controversy recently where a bus station was painted over by a political entity. In that case,